That's right. That's right, folks. Welcome in the ring to each and every one of you. We trust that you guys are great. We trust that you guys are well. Wherever you're joining us from this evening, pace and power, share the live, smash that emoji button, folks. And you're going to want to partner with us. So much news, so much information, folks. You're going to beg to partner with us. Good to have each and every one of you on the live, good folks. Good to have each and every one of you, as I said, on the live. Pace and power. Share that live. Smash that emoji button, good folks. And please and thank you. Partner with us as well. We're firing up. We're ready to go. We're waiting on you. Fantastic, lovely folks. Wherever you're joining us from tonight, folks. Parliamentary cohesion. That's the topic tonight. Good to have you here with us. We fired up and we're ready to go, folks. And as we wait on some of you others to come on board, folks, to come in the ring, to come ringside, to come in the Coliseum, come in the stadium, we're going to ensure that we share the live and we smash the emoji button as well, good folks. Good to see each and every one of you with us. Well, y'all know, Metro here for none of the bus. Metro here for none of the bus. If you want to know how, you don't got to check our morning program. Pace and power, thank you. Pace and power, good folks. We've already covered some of that ground, and I think we're going back to it. Pace and power, good to see each and every one of you on the live. Camille Cox joining us from Glasgow. Good to see you, Camille, and all Glasgow and other places. Pace and power, good to see you, Camille, Julian Marsh, Shereen Baines, Ingrid Ambrose. Good to see you, folks. Parliamentary cohesion. Did we achieve that today? That's some of what we're talking about this evening, folks. We got the fight card ready, folks. We're ready for the opener. We are ready for the opener. Good to have you here, Cherryland. Folks, today we were in the National Assembly on that motion of what Venezuela is doing. And there was unity in the House on the motion. We didn't agree with PPP and the governance, but on this thing called your territorial sovereignty, the integrity of our borders. We won with that, folks. We won with that. Yep. It was a man talking about the importance of education, the first urgency of the moment, folks. Knowing who's coming across the borders, in what numbers, folks. And all the while extending another branch of humanitarianism to our brothers and sisters who might be falling on hard times, but with the watchful eyes to the Jagabats and the trench crappos across the border. A Manza spoke to this issue, folks, in the National Assembly today. That's the opener. Take a look, good folks, and take a listen. Ronaldo Casillas, Myrna Toby, Ryan Jones, Susan Jacobs, Brenda Moore, and all the other fantastic folks joining us. Take a look, take a listen to what the man said. The opener.
Mr. Speaker, I want to say that it is important that we understand, as we have been calling on this side of the House, that the time is now for a national conversation on migration. We called for it 2 years ago. We warned about these numbers 2 years ago. I stood right in this spot in the National Assembly 2 years ago, and we said that unless we have serious conversations and unless we took serious action, we would find ourselves in the position that we find ourselves in today. And we are living to see that exactly what we warned about has come to pass, much to the detriment and anxiety of Guyanese. Mr. Speaker, it is all around. It is all around us. When you look at the legal frameworks that exist to protect Guyanese, to protect the citizens of a sovereign state, and to make sure that the path for citizenship is crystal clear, that the path for residency is crystal clear. Mr. Speaker, now is the time for us to have those conversations. We are a small nation of 800,000 thereabouts, if we are to believe the last set of statistics. And Mr. Speaker, we owe it to our people. We owe it to our people to have a very clear legal framework. A framework that does not extend to fiat or rule by fiat, but that is clearly deliberated in this House so that people who come to our nation will know exactly where they stand and how they stand and what is their path to citizenship, if any, Mr. Speaker. I repeat, our first duty is to the people of Guyana, and we must be unapologetic in the prosecution of that duty, Mr. Speaker. We are unapologetic about putting Guyana first. And so, like I said, Mr. Speaker, we have a migration situation. We have a situation of thousands of persons pouring over our border. We have a situation where there are persons who are entitled by virtue of their parentage to be given Guyanese citizenship. And we want to make it clear that we on this side of the House understand that. Mr. Speaker, like I said, a perusal of citizenship laws around the world sets out a very clear path. And so I am wondering whether it is time that we propose legislative measures to make it clear, and particularly in the context of a nation of 28 million people, where the youngest child is taught from the time that he or she could read that Essequibo somehow belongs to them. Mr. Speaker, these are extraordinary times, and we cannot behave to deal with this issue. We must consider whether, given the fact of this territorial claim, given the fact of this belief that Essequibo belongs to them, whether we must not enshrine in our laws provisions that speak to persons being, and particularly migrants, and particularly people who are coming in from the neighboring Western neighbor, that we would say whether there is merit in considering laws that make it clear that participation in inappropriate political activities that amount to insurrection, treason, or promoting secession or annexation will be met firmly by prosecution, deportation, and possibly a ban on residencies. Mr. Speaker, let us not forget, we had a Rupununi uprising, and we must, unless we fail to learn from our history, be doomed to repeat those mistakes. There is too much at stake now, Mr. Speaker, for us not to learn from our history and to proceed blindly along. Mr. Speaker, there will be dual citizens, and dual citizens must choose their loyalty. And they have a right to choose whichever loyalty they will exercise. If they choose to be Venezuelans, as they have a right to so do, then we must consider whether it will be important to proscribe their ability to act and participate in Guyanese civic and political activities. And Mr. Speaker, let me be very clear about this. This might not have been critical had we not been dealing with people who genuinely believe, because we interact with people. We interact with people in our community and we get feedback. And there is a genuine belief, as represented the other day by the map of Venezuela on that food cart, that included the Essequibo in central Georgetown, that we had to send the police to make sure that that was done away with. That is the gravity of what we are dealing with. So forgive me if I'm not prepared to engage in too many pleasantries about this. We have to be serious. There is a Goliath at the gate, and we have to, like David, gather our stones. Mr. Speaker, we must immediately enhance screening procedures at our borders. We must set about to verify and record in a transparent and credible manner those Venezuelan nationals, like I said, who are legitimately entitled to citizenship by virtue of their parentage, those who are eligible as economic migrants, and those who may, given the international legal framework, be eligible for refugee status, and even those who will be deported back to Venezuela because they pose a security threat. This is what the screening process at our borders should be doing. Mr. Speaker, we must establish a robust, continuous education program, one which matches the fervor and intensity that we see next door. As I speak, there are jingles out on social media, whole national songs from Venezuela claiming that Essequibo is theirs, as we sit in this house and as we debate this motion. And so, Mr. Speaker, we must establish a robust, continuous education program which will engender patriotism and respect for our collective heritage. We must have a program, Mr. Speaker, which will inform the youngest to the oldest about the seriousness of the territorial issue. They must know about Venezuela's scandalous and illegitimate claim to our Essequibo. The program, Mr. Speaker, must be tailored to specific audiences, and it must include our 9 indigenous nations in their language. The urgency of the situation demands that no effort be spared to light the fire of patriotism in the belly of every Guyanese man, woman, and child, Mr. Speaker. The urgency is that great, Mr. Speaker. We must have a program that embodies the fundamental and inherent truth that we will repeatedly teach our children and our new adult citizens that Essequibo, as one of the 3 counties of Guyana, is, was, and always will be 100% Guyanese. From Pacaraima, Mr. Speaker, to Parica, from the sprawling savannah, sir, to the rapids at Rockstone, Essequibo belongs to Guyana. Mr. Speaker, now more than ever, we must be committed to full collaboration between the government and all national stakeholders. I want to be clear, the time for petty partisan politics is over. The time for subordinating the national interest below the interests of party and political expediency is over. This moment demands that we, Mr. Speaker, it demands that we rise above.
Yep. I don't want to toot our own horn, folks, but the parliamentary opposition did exceptionally well today. Who vexed as we're saying? Exceptionally well in all the presentations. And that was part of what Amanza said. Minchie Graves Andy, Bonita Emmanuel, Facebook user, Troy Fraser, Charles Nelson, all the other folks joining us. Pace and power. If you share the live yet, you're wicked. 1,400 of you, 1,500 now watching us across social media. If you share the live yet, you're wicked, folks. That is some of what Amanza said, folks. And that was the opener. That was the opener for you beautiful, wonderful folks out there joining us. As we on the opener. Y'all remember this from y'all boy Jack there? He want a channel. Let me concede a channel out. Y'all remember that? Watch it again.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area. You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area. You could.
Yep. That's what the fella said. That is precisely what he said. Well, the Attorney General run out today, his Attorney General run out today to say it wasn't so. He didn't say all of those things. You see, it is beginning to gain traction. And so Anil has come out now to do some damage control. He said he got to set to right. And all these people in this National Assembly here who talking about the state of the economy and crime and hopelessness. We didn't come for talk about that. Listen to the Attorney General in the National Assembly today. This is Anil Nandilal, right? He said, based on certain interpretations and so on, here's not how certain thing went. The man who the Caribbean Court of Justice said, he brought the entire administration of justice into disrepute. Oh my. He said, Jack, you didn't really say that. Take a look. Take a listen.
There are two things that I want to say quickly, simply because it is wrong to leave them on the record. I don't wish to traverse what the honorable member who preceded me said on many matters, but there are two things that are simply too dangerous to leave on the public record. One is the allegation that the PPP leader made certain statements that would lend to the interpretation and inference that we are ceding territorial sovereignty to Venezuela. I want to reject that contention absolutely. And there is another contention that I want to traverse, and it is that my distinguished elder, the Honorable Madam Gail Teixeira, in advocating in accordance with international law the fair treatment of those who come to this land as refugees, is something, when we did it, we committed some error and somehow compromised our position.
Yeah. You heard that? Mind you, the fellow who said it was in the National Assembly. He chose not to speak. The fellow who said it was right there in the National Assembly. Refused to speak. But he sent out Anil for doing dirty work.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime.
Yep. You make a slight concession in the maritime. Slight concession.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area.
You heard it there, folks. He said it happened so. You've seen things with your own eyes. You're seeing things with your own eyes, and these fellows trying to tell you it's not so, Jackie Cameron. Andrew Griffith, Marcy Griffith, Sean McCalmont, Wayne Brown. He trying to tell us it didn't happen so. First, we got him fight card set. What's happening at GMC and to Shalalal? Of course, we can circle back to some other things in the National Assembly. Folks, don't go no place. Share it live. Smash that emoji button. We're going to circle back to some other things that were said in the National Assembly today. What's happening in Trinidad and Tobago? I saw this photograph of Rowley. I said, like, Rowley put out a statement that he with us. Now that we know definitively, Mayor's not with we. Fires on the PPP, folks. Then you got to watch. A lot of trouble coming to our shore via the same means of economic refugee. You got to watch that. We got to watch it, folks. Some of the things making the fight card this evening. Yep, some of the things making the fight card this evening, folks. And as we told you when we started, there was a Manzo Walt in his ear talking about a robust education campaign that is needed among some other things. Just in case you missed it. A robust education campaign. Moving on, folks. Let's bring you guys in some of what is happening around the world, in the region. Then we're going to circle back to the 592. Good folks, Onelias King, Jacqueline Argel. Good to see you, Onelias. Good to see you, Azwin and P. Alicock, Brenda, Michaela, Andrew Coates, and all the other folks joining us tonight, folks. Some stuff happening around the world. A 14-year-old went into cardiac arrest at a race of 5K in Myanmar. 14 years old, you know. Father of mercy. Signs of the times. Good folks, signs of the times. We wish him well. We wish him a speedy recovery. Yep, signs of the times. You need to think of the age, you know. You overextend yourself, exhaust yourself, all manner of things liable to happen. Folks, wherever you're joining us from this evening, smash that emoji button for us, share the damn live, folks, and let me go down the road. We wish him well, as we said. We wish him well. Look at us recovering, folks. In the region, I tell you, when I saw PM, I said PM put out a statement on us, on we. No, his data was compromised, folks. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. You know, that can be a big thing there. Everything's a big thing for the Trinidadians. That can be big story. Big story in Trinidad, yeah. You can see the headlines now. This personal data was allegedly compromised, folks. Put out there for the world to see. We can have some more reporting on that. Good, folks, in a subsequent broadcast. But that's the thing, sir. That's the thing, sir. But if the PM's information is being put out there, it's being compromised, you know, how much more the rest of us? We ain't got no hope in this digital age. We don't have no hope, folks. Some of the other things we're covering close to our side. We're in the 592. Good. Who with us? Who with we in the 592? Is there any folks with us in the 592? Good to have all of you folks on the live tonight. We hope that you are doing well in this new month. It's the 6th day of November already. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Royston Fendricks, Ingrid King, Henry Rodney. Can you believe that? Patricia Brennan, Andy Williams, Wilma Grant. Can you believe that? Facebook user. My God, a lot of things happening, folks. A lot of things happening. Let's touch down now. Let's touch down in the 592. A lot of things are going on. A lot of things. Yolanda, how are you doing there? Father, have his mercies. You see what happens with our young people? I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to go into some of this in the morning program. A lot of stuff happening with our young people. Too many of them transitioning this world. You know, mother milk still in the face. Now, this one here, he was spared, Timothy McGarrell, 22 years old, accused and charged of the rape of an 11-year-old. He was freed by a jury. Just today, you better walk in the corner, Timothy. Timothy, you better walk in the corner. Start back your life on the straight and narrow. On the straight and narrow, and stay out of the way of the Jacobats, the transcripers, the taxpos, and the cricketers. Stay out of their way. Walk the straight and narrow, my brother. Who there with you tonight? Who's sharing their life? Who gonna smash that emoji button? Bonnie Alson is you? Lorna Calvin? Good to have you on the live tonight. Sukchan Sudhari. Better thank his lucky stars. Better do it. Look what else we're following, folks. As we said, signs of the times of the sign. Alfred Jordan, Rhonda Gordon, I see you there. Andrew Griffith, how are you doing, my brother? Good to see you on the live tonight. Signs of the times. Good, folks. Isano Landing. Folks, look how life cheap. Yeah. One brother wanted the other one for dance with some girl. I sure is a Spanish girl. And he can stab. The fellow, you know, Raymond Kosher. Look at the ages. 22-year-old raped an 11-year-old. He's 16 and stabbed to death over some dancing with some Spanish girl. Huh? You see what happened in this country? Something loose, you know. Them boys went Guadeloupe and they bring back and they lose something here. 16 years old stabbing that. Who will smash that emoji button? Tell us tonight how reprehensible this is. My God. This is Animal Farm, you know. This is Animal Farm. Our thoughts and our prayers. Our thoughts and our prayers with Raymond Kosher family tonight. My God. Thoughts and prayers with them. How are you going to tell somebody 16-year-old coming back home? You try with that. Thoughts and prayers with them. Thing one blood, you know. This morning's program is a whole host of young people involved in civil incidences. 17-year-old accident, gone. 16-year-old, 15-year-old. Some things you can't legislate. You got to call on the higher power. That's what we got. You can't legislate everything. He said no landing. Just Raymond Kosher gone. Just like that, folks. Thoughts and prayers again with his family. You know what's sad? You know what's sad? I agree. You got some genuine humanitarian cases. People catching the tail in Venezuela. And they come here, folks, looking for some semblance of a better life. But some of the rest of them, it's not so, you know. It's not so. Police apprehended a vehicle today. 2 Venezuelans, Kevin De Jesus, Marcelino Marcos, 22 and 29 respectively. 1,100 grams, 11,000 rather, grams of narcotics in the vehicles. Where are they going with that? I don't know if them boys gotta get balmy for what comes next. You know, sometimes they got a bill ahead. Some other folks call it Dutch courage. In yourself, you can't do that thing. So you got bill ahead, bill heights, drum up the courage. 11,000 grams of narcotics. You can't be economic refugee. You're criminal animals, criminal elements. And I hope they face the full brunt of the law. Full brunt of the law. Can't do the time. Don't do the crime. Plain and simple. Who vex? We don't have no apologies. 11,000 grams of narcotics. You know the damage that could do to human lives? We're not playing with that. And that's what's sad. You come to people's place. We extend our great Guyanese hospitality. What you make of this, good folks? Mark, Vesta, Shireen Baines, what you make of this? You come by people's place. Folks. Behave properly now. Please and thank you. Behave properly. 11,000 grams of narcotics. 11,000 grams. And look what Magna Barrow said. Like Magna reading the script, money have we make. Money have we make. A daily sample. Marcy Griffith, Glycis Byrne, Andrew Lore, Ian Williams. Money have we make. Celeste Clark. That's what them boys on the street say. That's what them boys on the street know. You know why? As soon as we come frontally into the 592, so we deal with all the trench crap, all the crackers, I tell them, send back me a blackberry sheep. We don't want it. If me is my friend, folks, we ain't got friends. If me is my friend, we don't have friends. That's why y'all know. Mia said this morning, as quoted by Sabak News editorial yesterday, Venezuela has been a sister country to them. Not a word to your fun. Carry your tail. Not a word to your fun. That's the time of day. I tell y'all, it's clickism, sechism, in this thing you call Carrico. We've lost the giants. You know, all you got is the scraps. It's not of them, but it's quite a few. Now you get all the scraps. All the scraps. That is what the lady said. Mia came out swinging. If you see how they depressed the National Assembly, the whole pack of the Jacobats in there, depressed. Mia said, my sis, Venezuela's been like a sister country to us. Not a word to her brother in fun. What a difference in David. Not a word to your fun, Mark. Katian, Jacqueline, Maureen, Esther Blue, not a word. Just last week, there the Marriott. Imagine that. What a slap in the face. You know, protocol dictates nobody speaks after the president. When Mia was running late, they tell us. And Mia was allowed to speak after Irfan because he's the big sister. Well, the big sister. He didn't know when Mia pat in the back is the soft spot she's feeling for. Venezuela has been like a sister country to us. Not a word. Fair fun. Yeah. May eat out all the catfish. Plus stab in the back. My God. Heartbroken. Heartbroken. He should be addressing the National Assembly on this issue. But in the corner, sobbing, mending his wounds, folks. Mending his wounds. He threw him under the bus. Threw him under the bus. Look at some of these issues. The other issues we're contending with this evening. Good folks. Some of the other things. Oh my God. Father have his mercies. Fire. Rumors of fire. Fires and rumors of fire. Will it tender? This thing came close to New Ghana School yesterday. Some Burnham Gardens at the back there. It came so close. So close. And you know what? The people says a garbage fire. Got out of control. Of course, everything dry. And it just starts to proliferate, to expand, to increase. Folks, the people put out a warning and they said, do not, you see, light any fires. Don't burn nothing. No refuse, nothing. Don't burn anything. But some winky. So the fire came right up to the New Ghana School fence. Folks, this could end badly. Right? It's New Ghana School or One Ghana School? I think it's New Ghana School. Right up to the fence. The fire came. Started how? Man-made garbage, somebody burning garbage, it got out of the hand and that's it, you know. You know how many houses could have gone up in flames, good folks? Because some of you listening, we're not hearing, folks. We're not hearing 2,500 of you watching us across social media. We're so privileged. We're so humble. Share. I find like more people now watching us on YouTube. Is it easier for you folks? Thank you for hearing the call. Migrating our audience over to YouTube is less finicky than Facebook. Every day Facebook changing up something. I can't take it tomorrow. I can't take it. You got to know rocket science now to understand Facebook. Right? But we want to say our thoughts and prayers with the folks down there in New Ghana School. We were happy. The fire came so far, no more. Right? Prayers answers things. Prayer answers things. Clearly, folks, when you call on the higher power, things happen. Things happen. Pace and power. Folks down there, New Ghana School, we're very happy and delighted. You know, it came so far and no more. Things could end very badly. Much, bigly badly. Please and thank you. Things could have ended real bad. But we're happy that it didn't. Folks, we got to keep watching. Look, story here now. Look, story here now. Right across the page, the front page, in today's Starbucks News was this story. We couldn't resist it. The Guyana Manufacturing Corporation is saying it is not being run properly. Exporters say opportunities are being lost. It's badly run. Yep. Tashana Lal says she knows nothing but that. Here what exporters are saying, it is in the worst possible state it has ever been. According to Starbucks News here, it's being run like a dollhouse. Some 37 staff has left the Ghana Marketing Corporation over the last 2 years. What is being run with any efficiency, any profitability in this country under these jagabats and trench capos? What is being run? She said, according to Starbucks News, that they have been making strides. She insisted, again, according to Starbucks News, they've been working to create linkages monthly and informed that the staff loss has been to the oil and gas sector. Tell you that. The Ghana Marketing Corporation, exporters, is that is there AFC? Is there Gap? You see? It's not WP. Exporters say the Ghana Marketing Corporation is being run like a cake shop. All that is in Starbucks News. What under this government purview is being run properly? Please, I'm asking. I hear some of y'all said GPL. Y'all know y'all leave. I hear some of y'all said GPL. Listen, thank you. We all know you're really able. GP who? GP who? My God. Money got for make look story down here now. Look story down here. You know, on the west side, road building and so on. Could you imagine the government issues a cease order? People are supposed to be, sorry, not on the west side, this is the London to Mabura Road. They're supposed to be building road and they're digging out the laterite. Digging out the laterite and doing their own story. And GGMC said they have no license to do so. And issued a cease work order for a particular mining company. Stop it, they really tell them, stop it. Could you imagine that? Nice time, folks. Money got for Mech. That's what it looks like. You go for one thing and you do your own story. But the famous phrase, made even more emphatic, poignant now. This is great. That's what them boys say. Look story now. Look story. Look story. GPL wants us to believe that blackouts, 99% of blackouts being caused by accidents, human activities. You all believe that? You all believe that? Give me a neighbor. Give me a life. Yeah. GPL says human activity and accidents causing all the blackout. It's not mismanagement. It's not incompetence. It's not poor decision making. No. It's the accidents on the road out there. Folks, I see now close to 2,700 of you watching us across social media. Smash that emoji button for us. Share the live broadcast. Great, folks. And partner with us as well. Chevron Abel, I see you there. Patricia Fraser, I see you as well. And Celeste and Danella Johnson. Dion Benjamin, lies. It was a rat. It was this rat eat out the wire, rabbit, cat, alligator. Now they say it's accidents. People heading to the pole with greater frequency. See, down in the whole system. This is a country for. You sure? It's a country, a civilized plantation, according to Martin. Accident is causing it. Nice time, folks. Who know? Ask it. Them boys promise nice time. We getting it? $20.8 billion have just been withdrawn from the Natural Resource Fund. 20.8 billion. How things looking by you? How things looking by you? 20.8 billion. You get an increase yet? Public servants? That money we set aside in February, $5 billion to help ease, cushion the high cost of living. You feeling it yet? Them boys haul out, pull out another 20 billion for National Resource Fund. You gonna feel any of that? You gonna feel any of that? Roxanne Garway or Nang Sukchan Sudhari. So things hard now, tight. Sukchan, John Benjamin, my God. Audrey, you can see any of that? 20 billion. Friends, family, favorite, you know. Friends, family, and favorite. That's nice time. Watching us there, good folks. Nice time all around. Who know? How things looking by you? How things looking by you? 20 billion every other day, billions upon billions upon billions of dollars being spent in this country. And they don't want the Public Accounts Committee to meet in the National Assembly to give oversight, to question, to interrogate. It's the Wild Wild West. Here's that 20 billion cents, man. Even if it was 20 billion cents, it was still money. And Mitchell, Raquel Gentle, $20 billion. See that? We're going. Roads falling apart as soon as they're built. You'll hear one of the presenters articulate what is happening in this country. You will hear $20 billion. Look story here now. Look story here now. $20 billion, they tell us, right? No, sir. It's purgatory. And this is Coast School, Graham's Hall. Teachers saying the school lack water. The infrastructure is crumbling. The folks at Graham's Hall say they need help. You think $20 billion going there? Kyle Bino? Huh? Olasumbo, do you think $20 billion going there? Asquith Schultz, you believe $20 million going there? Huh? All of this in today's papers, you know, on social media. They're taking all the money, but is it going to do anything? No. Huh? You know what they can do? They can tell the teachers of Graham's Hall, vote for us again. Put us back in office again, and we're going to fix the problem. It's the old ropey dope. Yep. Corruption, nepotism. Where the money going? Not to the Graham's Hall Primary School. Not to the Graham's Hall Primary School. It's not going there, folks. If it's not going there, where it's going? Huh? Somebody help me, man. If it's not going there, where it's going? You better ask Sue. You all know Sue handles all the arrangements. Sue gets all the support. And you all know Big Head handles this thing on the government side. Big Head handles things on the government side. Where the money going, folks? Huh? It's anyone's guess. It is anyone's guess. Where the money going? It ain't coming in your pocket. It's not coming in my pocket. Big things happening at the National Assembly today, good folks. A lot of things happening at the National Assembly, as you know. We met there in that motion, that Venezuelan motion, folks. United as a country, united as a National Assembly to defend your interests, not to try to make the people look good. And one of the things that came out of this morning's meeting in the National Assembly is a point that Sukai made, Pauline Sukai. And I believe the impact of this aggression, is felt by all. And I tell you, don't think about Essequibo is this far place. You got to go across a big river and all that to get there. Sujan Region 3. You drive up the road a little bit, see a big sign mark. Welcome to Essequibo Islands. Etc., etc., etc. The impact of this is being felt. It's a talk of the tongue. If them boys come in, what we could do? I don't care if I near fun. Jack Yoga missing. Ali got Nandlal got come out talking for he. Why he can't repudiate what he said? No. Jack you say you go and talk. Does I pay you for? Pauline Sukai today stood in the National Assembly and spoke about the indigenous people of Guyana being impacted the most by Venezuela's aggression. All of us in it. All of us in it. All of us. Without exception. All of we in it. All of we in it. That being said, folks, you had some other presentations in the National Assembly. And one of them was Kemraj Ramjatans. And you can tell Kemraj is a seasoned politician. Kemraj took national hero of Venezuela. And put what he said years ago up to the light and said, look what this fella believe in. Simon Bolivar. Y'all are not representative of this. Huh? There's no place for irrationality in politics. Among some other things, Kemrad said today, standing in the National Assembly in defense of our territorial integrity. Folks, take a look. Take a listen to somebody said.
As I noted in a passage of his, the singular aversion to Guyana's freedom was the very converse of all that their hero, Simon Bolivar, symbolized. Today we have in Venezuela a grasping on to the greatness of Simon Bolivar. But I want to say, before I come to Simon Bolivar, that this is how Sir Sridhar Ramphal described those that had happened in 1966. It was on the flimsiest pretext of an old and disappointed man's posthumous memoirs, set down some 45 years after the events. These shreds and patches embroidered with speculations, ambiguities, and allusions to new but undisclosed evidence. These calumnies against 5 of the most eminent jurists in the world at that time, that Venezuela mounted its international campaign against Guyana as we approached independence. As the date drew nearer, the agitation grew fiercer, threatening in veiled and indirect ways the advance of independence itself. Hence, the British conversations in Geneva in 1966, 3 months before Guyana's independence. Mr. Speaker, when leaders of Venezuela are going to quote and talk about Simon Bolivar, I wish to remind our countrymen and even the Venezuelans who will be, of course, peeking into our parliament here today, what Simon Bolivar, 1783 to 1830, had said in 1819, after independence was gained from Spain. He had indicated around that time, after the fight for freedom, that the peoples of Latin America were so used to tyranny and ignorance and vice that they would not know what to do with freedom. That government had to be appropriate to the people, and that legislators in fledgling countries like Venezuela at that time would have to work to create conditions in which their fellow citizens could enjoy freedom. This is what he said specifically. If a people, and I'm quoting him here, perverted by their training, succeed in achieving their liberty, they will soon lose it. For it would be of no avail to endeavor to explain to them that happiness consists in the practice of virtue, that the rule of law is more powerful than the rule of tyrants. And I want to repeat that. The rule of law is more powerful than the rule of tyrants, because as the laws are more inflexible, everyone should submit to their beneficent austerity. That proper morals and not force are the bases of law, and that to practice justice is to practice liberty. Therefore, legislators, your work is so much the more arduous that we have to re-educate the men and women of Venezuela from being corrupted as a result of their training from, as he said, Spain. This profound advice from one of the greatest of Latin America's heroes must now, of course, be applied to what Venezuela, or at least be compared and contrasted as to what Venezuela seeks to do now. As a matter of fact, I feel that all the advice of Simon Bolivar is being thrown out of the room, thrown out of the window. And so that is why we have irrational leaders now, almost people who you'd have to say had huge problems appreciating morals and justice and all of that, now trying to do certain things, obviously for their political continuity. Rationality is important in international politics. And if we do not recognize what might be the motivations of Maduro and his team, inclusive of Delcy Rodriguez, Honorable Vice President she is, I think, making statements about referendum and all of that means, in my opinion, that there is now a deliberate attempt to transfer their irrationality onto their countrymen for purposes of ensuring that probably they can be distracted from all the problems they have in Venezuela. And Venezuela got a lot of problems, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, you heard it there, folks. You heard it there. And I want to underline, I want to underscore something that Cameron said initially, quoting Sir Sridhar Ramphal. That was on the flimsiest of excuses this whole thing started. Venezuela for 60 years accepted the boundaries. 60 years, and some low-level lawyer, some two-bit somebody, left a letter. He said, don't give nobody till they're dead. And when he died and he opened this letter, 60 years later, he said I had some cook-up with persons when they were deciding the boundaries. And that's how this thing started. He wasn't man enough. He didn't have the testicular fortitude while he lived and breathed to bring that contention. He said, when I'm dead, only then open the letter. Only then. It's Nancy's story. It's Nancy's story. That's what you call that. It's Nancy's story. But I think it was Roysdale Ford, who also put things into perspective for us. And I'm sorry we wouldn't have enough time, perhaps, to even hear from the leader of the opposition, who had a fantastic presentation as well. But one of the points Roysdale made, while we meet here and we agree in defense of our territorial sovereignty, in defense of the integrity of our borders, they got things within the borders that are not well, that are not right. They got things right inside that frightens us. I think the part of the point he was making, don't come wrong with funny PPP. You think by the fact that we're here today, you're special. But we stand as Guyanese and we lock arms from the enemies on the other side. He turns his attention to internal matters. Shadow Minister of Legal Affairs, Attorney General, Roysdale Ford. Take a look, folks, and take a listen.
Having addressed our attention to the issue of reaffirming our commitment to the peaceful and legal resolution to the border controversy and the condemnation of Venezuela's aggression, I turn my attention to the internal management of the state. Guyanese are reminded that the strength of our external defense lies in the cohesion within the state. The disquiet and the rumblings of Guyanese in this oil-rich and the world's fastest growing economy are increasing. Guyanese are growing intolerant with the pervasive social, economic, and political injustices, particularly when they are entitled to fair treatment. This government must be reminded that the turning of a blind eye, pretending that there is no societal dysfunction, could lead to grave consequences. We are of one people, one nation, one destiny. And every Guyanese must feel that he or she has a stake in this beloved country and will be treated with dignity and respect. This is where sometimes the government and our party don't seem to share the same beliefs. We believe in the national motto, not a misguided, visionless, poorly executed One Guyana policy, which is not only myopic, but anti-national, unpatriotic. It feeds internal divisions and external forces to exploit in the furtherance of their national interests. It is important for this House to record and for all Guyanese to know that whilst we stand in solidarity with the government and all Guyana in this motion, we will take a momentarily brief pause on our continuous argumentation on this side of the House in relation to the discriminatory management of the state, the continued abuse of public servants and teachers, and unionized workers' rights to collective bargaining. For a moment, we will take a break from our argumentation in relation to the demolition of the guardrails of democracy and the government's apparent determination to create a one-party state. For a moment, we will stand back from President Ali's violation of the Constitution and the contempt of court for not ruling or not participating in...
Honorable member, you will have to withdraw that reference to President Ali.
Mr. Speaker, I withdraw it. We will not stand for the violation of the Constitution and the contempt of the court on the substantive appointment of the Chancellor and Chief Justice. The court ruled on the 26th of April 2023 that any protracted or further delay in complying with Article 127(1) of the Constitution is inimical to the independence of the judiciary as set out in Article 122 of the Constitution. For a moment, we will take a break, Mr. Speaker, from complaining and standing up against the demolition of homes. We will take a break today because we stand together for all Guyana in relation to the failure to provide equitable allocation of resources across the country. For a moment, we are concerned and remain concerned about the issue of poverty and the failure of the government to reduce it in a systematic manner. The government's continuous collapse of the education sector, where more than half of the children in the world's fastest growing economy are not literate. Mr. Speaker, we take a break today and join the government in support of this motion, despite the failure to provide proper health services across the country and the inability to provide a basic medication to those in need. Mr. Speaker, we take a break today just for a moment, just for a pause, to continue to address the issue of the lack of accountability in the management of the oil sector and its proceeds and the allocation of contracts to the tune of billions of dollars to PPP's friends, families, and favorites. Mr. Speaker, we stand for inclusionary democracy as outlined in Article 13 of the Constitution, and we demand the inclusion of all stakeholders, organizations, and individuals in the matter of the Venezuela-Guyana border controversy and every aspect of the management and decision-making process of the state that impact the well-being of the citizens and their representative bodies. To stand allegiance, we on this side of the House pledge to cherish and defend all 83,000 square miles and the 53,347.7 square miles of our exclusive economic zone from foes, external, and any who dare to think they can attack us from within. This land and waters are ours. From the Rupununi to the Quarantine, from the green hard forests to the Atlantic waters, this land was made for you and me. Mr. Speaker, we stand united, and all Guyanese are united on the fact that Essequibo is a territory of Guyana. Mr. Speaker, we stand united, and all Guyanese are united on the fact that the arbitral award of 1899 is a full, perfect, and final settlement of this controversy. Mr. Speaker, we stand united, and all Guyanese are united on the fact that the jurisdiction of the International Court of Justice is the only legitimate forum for the clarification of this controversy. Having addressed our attention,
Our apologies there. We could add anything else to that, good folks. We just could not, apologies there, add anything else to that. That being said, good folks, that's going to do it for us for time this evening. That is going to do it for us for our time on this side. You're heading into the city tomorrow. You need a good justice of the peace, a good commissioner of oaths to affidavit, good folks. We want to recommend the Alistair Collins form. They right down there, the Callion Mall and Lama Street between Camp and Waterloo. They're closer to Waterloo than they are to Camp. We recommend them highly. Experts, folks, for all the documentation needs. 649-6410-685-6448. We want to recommend them highly, bigly, good folks. And we want to encourage you, good folks, also to partner with us. You know, this is how we keep moving program to program. Folks, day after day, week after week, month after month. Next week, 3 years since we're out here, valid, credible information. Folks, it's been a privilege. It has been a privilege. We are available via Cash App and Zelle and PayPal, MMG, MoneyGram, and Western Union, as well. If you got the QR codes too, folks. If you got a credit or debit card, we can send you guys a secure link, absolutely secure. WhatsApp us 627-6963. That's going to do it for us at this end, folks. That's going to do it for us at this end.
Want to keep getting the best in the ring?
Let's play.
Yes, you can help us to keep going by partnering with us through your contributions. And it's easy. Send us a daily, weekly, or monthly donation, whichever is most convenient to you. Cash App at $in-the-ring592, Zelle and PayPal in-the-ring592@gmail.com, or WhatsApp us on 627-6963 for how to contribute via MoneyGram and Western Union and for MMG payments.
All right, so have a fantastic rest of the evening. We're going to see you guys in the next broadcast. That's our time, good folks, and that's our program. Delete one, Vesta, Diane, Beryl, and all the other folks joining us. Peace and power. Thanks for joining us this evening, and stay safe, guys. Stay safe.